And like cats, why it doesn't work is because they're cat people. Like it's so simple. It's so simple. It looks like a man and a female cat went into a back room, and then Idris Elba walked out as Catman. You're like, that shouldn't happen, folks.
Yeah, this looks wrong.
This is wrong.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 27 of Straight to Series. How are we? My name is Connor.
I'm Ian.
And yeah, guys, welcome. Check us out on Instagram,
and Facebook,
and Twitter, and
YouTube,
all those nice places.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe. You know, all the fun stuff that we like to see you do.
Yes.
But today, as always, we're gonna get straight into it with the box office.
We said it last week. Joker.
1 billion.
1 billion.
1 billion, baby. It
1 billion big ones.
The third highest grossing DC film of all time.
Of all time, and the highest grossing R-rated movie ever.
Is it the highest grossing movie with the lowest budget?
Yes, it is. Yeah. With the estimates go up as high as 70.
Yeah.
Is the highest.
Which is not high.
Which is so low.
Yeah, for a movie.
Yeah, for a movie. Yeah. So, it is the lowest budget movie ever to make $1 billion as well, which no one really says.
No.
I've never seen. All I've seen is the R-rated thing.
Yeah.
They don't even say that it's the third highest DC movie. It's beat The Dark Knight. That's just weird to think.
That is very weird.
Because to me, that's the most famous DC movie ever made.
I'd agree.
The Dark Knight.
Best DC movie ever made, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so as well.
Actually, no, sorry. Aquaman is technically the most famous from the money it made.
From the money it made, yeah. All those Chinese dollars.
Although, considering The Dark Knight is considered the only Oscar-worthy...
is it the only one to win an Oscar as well? Because Heath Ledger won an Oscar for it. Maybe hair and makeup.
Did Avengers Endgame... No, Suicide Squad won hair and makeup.
It did, yeah, there we go. So there's another one.
There's another one. And Avengers Endgame, did that win VFX?
I don't know.
It should. Well,
no, we don't know yet.
Sorry, Infinity War. Did Infinity War win VFX? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
I would like to think Planet of the Apes won it, but wait, was that the year?
I don't know. We'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
And we're not going to. No, but it's it's funny to think that The Dark Knight, like when you think of a movie as Oscar worthy, you're not really thinking about like VFX or hair and makeup and stuff.
I know. And they're also the ones that no one kind of cares about. I never go, oh, what? That won an Oscar. And then go, best visual effects. I'm like, oh, okay.
Totally.
Same with sound design.
Yeah.
Even though, like, it is such a huge thing. Yeah. Where score, I guess I'm kind of, I like when I hear something.
I like to hear that too. Yeah. And then I like to listen to the score as well.
Big time.
Like the winners. Yeah. We'll be getting into it, but the Mandalorian score has us talking because it's so fucking good.
It's so good.
I
wonder if you give Emmys for best television score.
I don't know.
I've never heard it.
The Emmy categories are always weird.
And there's around 50 of them, if more. It just seems like, don't they go on forever as well?
Forever.
I think it's, 3 days long?
Yeah, the Emmys are insane.
They actually do like some pre-party where they do untelevised Emmys as well for some of the lower categories.
Jesus Christ.
I'm nearly sure. I think so.
I mean, they're getting more prestigious because there's so much TV now.
Yeah, but especially with all the streaming services.
Yeah,
like Netflix just has a boatload of series now.
It's so weird. But yeah, so The Dark Knight, but when you say movies Oscar worthy, you're thinking of like the performances, the direction, all this stuff.
And that's why it's a big deal that Dark Knight won Best Supporting Actor with Heath Ledger, even though he's like the lead in that when you really think about it.
Do you think this is a terrible thing to say, but do you think if he hadn't died, he would have got the
instantly
Oscar?
What I thought? Yeah. Instantly what I thought when he won.
Yeah.
It's hard to know, isn't it?
Isn't it? Because not only like
I've always thought that.
Like when I say that his performance is the best performance of his supporting actor, even though he's a lead that year. It's amazing. It stands the test of time. It's one of the greatest performances in a film, I would say.
Yeah, it's so good. And I always thought, I wonder if he would win if he didn't die.
But it's funny when people hear you say that, they're like, that's so
horrible. That's so mean. But I'm like,
I'm like, no. He deserves it.
Yeah.
I just want to know if he would have been recognized.
I want to know if the Academy
would have recognized
him.
Yeah, exactly.
More than anything.
Old white men.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. No.
No.
Yeah. But back then, old white men, would they have
100%,
noticed?
Yeah.
It's so crazy, and that's a movie of great performances as well.
Yeah. Also, I think the fact that it made $1 billion. it would actually give it less of a chance of winning an Oscar. Because they're like, oh, it's super popular.
It's a moneymaker.
Like, usually Oscar films aren't huge moneymakers. Now, it's not that they crash and burn either.
No.
But, like, Moonlight was not a big hit.
No.
Just critically, it was a big hit.
And I watched that movie, and I still don't I don't particularly understand the whole thing.
I don't like it either. I love the first chapter.
Me too.
Of The Tree.
With Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali. And he won Best Supporting Actor, and he's in it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So that just shows how good he is.
He was amazing, and then I liked when 50 Cent was in it at the very end.
That transition.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. He really like fills out.
He really fills out.
Yeah.
His cheekbones come in as well.
Yeah. I just can't get over. I was like, holy shit, is that 50 Cent?
Because he's a weird looking kid.
Very weird.
And in chapter 2, he's still a weird looking adolescent kind of kid. Well, I guess you're 16.
16.
Because he's in high school.
Yeah.
And he looks like a weird kid.
Yeah.
And then he's a hunk of chiseled, just
Steel.
muscle mass.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big jump.
Yeah.
And I always thought, like, Moonlight, it won, but it was so unpopular that Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about Moonlight in his opening speech, and even the people in the room didn't get it.
Well, here's the thing, right? So when Moonlight won, this was when the Oscars were like, I swear we're not racist.
Yeah.
I swear we're not sexist. We're not racist.
And not only that, it was the La La Land thing as well.
That's the thing I was going to get at.
Yeah.
So La La Land won everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
And then they were like, oh, and they won so many awards that whoever read it out was like, oh, and La La won because it was a sure thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that was the runner-up actually, and it was so awkward, and you had to get off the stage and all like that. And the La La Land people were like, yeah, it's cool, it's whatever. Mm-hmm. But I would have been a bit like, we fucking won everything else. Are you telling me we didn't win Best Picture that year?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's people's criticism of the Oscars. I've heard that someone says that if a movie wins Best VFX, Best Sound Design, Best whatever, Best Supporting, Best Lead, and it doesn't win Best Picture, why is that? It's won all the other Oscars. Surely that makes it the Best Picture, you know?
I know. It's the same thing. I think Ridley Scott, Gladiator won Best Picture, but he didn't win Best Director one year. And he was like, but I made the Best Picture of the... Like, that was me. I directed the film that you're saying was the best one of the year. So would the Best Director not have made the best film?
It's so crazy.
It's so crazy.
It's like, I understand why they give the awards to different people. Obviously, like, you can't just... The Oscars wouldn't be what it is if you just like, okay, this is the Best Picture, so now all these other people are getting awards for their performances.
But it makes sense. Like, certain ones make sense. Like, I could see like a Best Supporting Actor not being in the Best Picture.
Yeah.
Where most likely the Best Actor might have been in the Best Picture, but Best Visual Effects might not be the Best Picture. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad got, as we were saying, Best Hair and Makeup. Yeah. Like, that makes sense that would win that, but not win Best Picture.
No, that does make sense.
Same with sound design. Like, a lot more action movies would win sound design. What was the one? Gravity?
Gravity, yeah.
That won loads of like sound design and maybe score as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But either way, like, you could understand how that would get Best Visual Effects, but maybe not Best Movie. But when it comes into like Best Actors, Best Screenplay, Best Director, you're like, well, they should get Best Film then.
Yeah, they should all they all kind of link into each other. So surely that makes it the best film.
And how is it not racist to give Moonlight Best Picture, but then give La La Land all the other awards? Because it almost that just seems so weird. Where it's like, well, the white movie got this and this and this and this, but the black movie got that.
Yeah, the black movie gets the Best Picture.
Just seems like to me that cries out racism.
Totally. Yeah, it's weird. And then there's a lot of like, it's kind of like with The Last Jet, with Force Awakens, whereas afterwards, like, people loved it when it came out, loved, and then a year, 6 months, a year later, there's a lot of hate for Force Awakens as being like, just rehash the original, all this stuff. La La Land, beloved when it came out, and now people are like, it's kind of condescending, like it's white people explaining jazz, which is black culture, basically. Yeah. So it's, I mean, I was watching it. I didn't get that from it.
No, me either.
Then again,
I thought it was a great love story.
So did I.
And I remember loads of people giving out that like they go for their work rather than love.
Yeah.
And people, I remember reading loads of reviews saying, "Oh, this is the most disgusting love story ever," and I was like, "But it's life," and I totally understand. Like, that's most probably really accomplished people have done this, where they've had to choose work over like a romantic romance. Yeah.
And you like
The Rock. He seems like a guy who's like, I think he is
married.
He's married now, but he was divorced.
Yeah, he has a daughter.
When he got divorced, he shot the stardom as well. Keep that in mind. Like, that was like You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Bill Hader was divorced.
Was he?
Recently enough, and now he's everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But it's probably a worrying trend if we start linking divorce with success in Hollywood.
Yeah,
but, Tom Cruise has been married for a long time, and he's successful pretty much consistently throughout his career.
True.
So, except for Oblivion, that didn't do very well.
Yeah. Anyway, Joker made $1 billion.
Joker made $1 billion. Is that what we were talking about?
Yeah.
Should we have a timer going? I don't know how long we've been going for.
It is going now.
Okay, Joker made $1 billion.
Joker made $1 billion, and I made a list of all the box office bombs that happened around it because I just think it's interesting. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that Joker made these bomb, but this helped it just soar.
Yeah.
So we've already talked about Terminator: Dark Fate.
Mm-hmm.
Made $235 million now, $185 million budget.
That's not good.
Tim Miller is taking a few steps back as well and saying that James Cameron was very heavy-handed and they fought all the time.
I read he didn't like, spoilers for Dark Fate, the Skynet thing.
He didn't like that at all.
Didn't like that it wasn't Skynet anymore.
They also wanted to open the movie a completely opposite way, where like the human race was defeated by the robots. That's how Tim Miller wanted to open it up, and James Cameron was like, no, I don't actually think it opens up either way now. So, but at the time, Tim Miller was like, I wanted to open up with the humanity losing, and then I assumed then we go back in time, as in like, oh, we're gonna fix that problem.
Yeah.
But then James Cameron was like, no, I want to end with them start with them winning, and then they go back in time. And Tim Miller was like, but how does that make a compelling story? And we just continue winning, so we win, and then we go back in time and win more.
Yeah.
Win even better.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen the movie, but I know that doesn't make sense as a structure.
I don't know.
After
but either way,
just an insight into the show. After we shot the last episode and the car ride home and everything, all we talked about was Terminator: Dark Fate basically the entire time.
And it's not a bad movie. It actually is the best third Terminator movie ever made.
Yeah, and basically talking about it, me not having seen it, trying to figure out ways to make it better, and then Ian just telling me like what was happening in the movie. So it's funny, I'd actually recommend going to see it, or at least reading about it, because it is interesting.
If you're a fan of Terminator, you might not go see this movie because you've been fucked so many times.
Yeah.
And I would actually say this is the one time where you don't get as fucked. Like I think it's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I would go see a sequel. I wouldn't be like chomping at the bit to see it, but it was decent. But anyway, it bombed and it really helped Joker, because that Terminator be a similar kind of audience.
Totally.
Older, I assume Terminator's R-rated. I think it is.
I think so.
I think it is. But anyway,
there's that one cool shot in the trailer where Arnold Schwarzenegger shoots off his face, and the practical effects of his head turning back around. Very cool.
Surely that's not PG-13.
No, because there's like blood and bits. Anyway,
So anyway, Terminator: Dark Fate helped Joker. Yeah. Gemini Man. Oh, Gemini Man is limping. 171 million it made for a Will Smith movie.
Is Will Smith not a bankable star anymore?
I don't know, because he just came off Aladdin, which was his biggest ever movie.
Yeah.
But it's Aladdin.
It's Aladdin.
It's a Disney remake. Those Disney remakes are fucking... Yeah.
When's Lady and the Tramp out?
It's out. It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
It's a live action thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's out now.
Yeah. I saw criticism for that because what they've done is they've made... did you see this as well?
No, and... Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, Disney and the Tramp, it's one of those... Disney and the Tramp, as I say,
Disney and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp is one of those old Disney animated movies where you go back and you find there's like racist stuff in it.
I can imagine.
The Siamese cats that are in it, they're like people are saying that's racist, like Asian stereotypes and everything. So in this movie, I don't know if it's directly because of that or whatever, but the lead characters, it's still set in the 1920s. I think that's when Lady and the Tramp is set.
Yeah. And it's live action. We should say that, so it's like real dogs.
It's live action, real dogs, real people.
Yeah.
And the main couple in it, the one who owned Lady, is a white guy and a black woman. And there was criticism for the Lady and the Tramp movie because they set it in the 1920s, but it's never addressed that white guy is married to that you don't see the fallout of that in the time.
Yeah.
And they're like it would have made a much more poignant movie if you addressed it. And I was like, that's a great point. It's also Lady and the Tramp.
True. Yeah.
It's like, it's a kid's movie. Yeah. Are you really going to get, racial elements in it that much?
And are the kids really going to understand?
Yeah.
If anything, you're just going to make the kids more complex. You're going to be like, or perplexed. I mean, like they're going to be like, what the hell's going on? Maybe I'm complex.
Maybe perplexed and complex. But so I thought it was weird criticism where they were like,
yeah, I understand both sides of it though as well, because like when you're writing a movie, you have to think the 1920s.
Yeah,
this just is not the norm at all.
Yeah, totally, and it's.
But at the same time, who are you writing it for?
Yeah, exactly. It's just
young children.
I mean, it's probably a point where you need to look at the writing process as of like if it's written on the script, you know, African American wife or whatever, like, or if they just cast a woman who fit the role, you know, like I don't even know who plays her, you know. It's just
I really don't care about the movie as such.
Neither do I.
But it is a very interesting story.
It was. I just thought it was an interesting when I was reading into it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's an excellent point, but at the same time, I get why they didn't do it. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry. Back to the movies that helped Joker make $1 billion.
Yeah. These are all just tramps. Movies.
These are all tramps.
So we got Terminator: Dark Fate. We got Gemini Man.
Sorry, Tramp is Justin Theroux, and he ain't no tramp.
Is it Justin Theroux?
Justin Theroux, yeah, and he's in Joker.
Yeah, he's a good-looking man, and yeah, he has a cameo.
He has a cameo in Joker.
Look out for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, Doctor Sleep, sadly, Doctor Sleep's on 57 million.
That's a shame.
Worldwide.
That's a real shame.
It cost 45 to 55 million to make.
I might go see it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go see it
again.
Give us some money.
Dough. And here, the one that just recently bombed. Now, I guess it's over now for Joker. Like it's kind of on its way out.
Yeah.
It made $1 billion. But Charlie's Angels just bombed really hard. Badly.
Yeah.
It made just over 8 million in America on its opening weekend.
That's truly terrible.
That is truly terrible. It cost 48 million to make. Actually looks more expensive than that, I would have thought.
Me too. We watched the trailer before this because neither of us had any interest in the movie.
No, and after watching the trailer, I have even
less interest.
Yeah.
It's just that budget seems small for what we saw in the movie.
Yeah, they stretched it. They stretched it well, and Elizabeth Banks directed it.
Elizabeth Banks, very talented writer, director, actress, comedian, producer.
Beautiful as well.
She's beautiful.
Got it all.
Yeah,
like Margot Robbie.
Basically.
I just want to drink pints of their blood. I just feel like there's some good shit in there.
There's just something good in there.
Yeah.
Like Charlize Theron in the Huntsman or the Woodsman or whatever the fuck.
The Huntsman.
Yeah. And she's like that queen who's like drinking people's blood or whatever to make herself young. Kind of like that. That's kind of
like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I want to do to good-looking Hollywood people.
And I bet it tastes like candy floss. You know?
I bet it's just
because they're so goddamn beautiful.
But it tastes so good.
Yeah, Charlie's Angels is dying.
And it's our fault, according to Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah.
Now, it's 32 million worldwide. It's on. So maybe if it's not released in China yet, and I don't know if it will get released in China.
Yeah.
But if it does, maybe it'll make a bit of money. But the fact that in America, 8 million on a weekend.
Really, really bad.
That's so bad.
For a known franchise as well.
A known franchise, yeah.
Charlie's Angels, popular kind of household.
A franchise starter again. Like, of course they're trying to do a trilogy.
Of course. And
Kristen Stewart, like she's a famous actress.
She is.
Not a very liked actress, I would say, in the public eye.
No.
But she's on the comeback trail, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree. And she hasn't succeeded in the way Robert Pattinson has.
Yes. But it took him some time as well, though.
It took him some time, that's true. He did a few stinkers, but I think he has done a good job of separating himself from the Twilight. He was doing that when they were shooting it, and doing projects that like show off how good of an actor he is.
Exactly. Daniel Radcliffe did the same thing, except Harry Potter was extremely liked.
Yeah.
But he still was like, I want to change everything.
Yeah.
I want to do every genre. Like, he's ticking off boxes.
Totally.
Left, right, and center.
And a very, like, I don't see, when I see a movie, I'm like, that's not Harry Potter, that's Daniel Radcliffe, you know? Which is good.
So it worked.
Yeah, it did work. Exactly. Yeah. Did you ever see Horns?
I did.
Yeah.
It's a fucking crazy movie.
It's a crazy movie. I actually kind of liked it.
It's the movie where I'm like, it bombed so hard, and I'm like, of course it bombed. It was always going to bomb.
Yeah.
This is such a specific movie.
Yeah. But I actually really liked it when I watched it.
He is ripped.
He is.
He's been always a buff enough guy.
Totally.
A very slight guy.
Yeah.
What is it Juno Temple?
Yes.
That's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
She is a sexually charged young lady.
She is. Very sexually charged.
Isn't she?
That's how in that movie especially.
In many movies. Have you ever seen Killer Joe?
No.
With Matthew McConaughey?
No. She's very sexually charged.
Oh, she is so sexually charged.
Okay.
That movie is a fucking weird movie.
I might watch that.
You should watch that movie.
I love that we're using sexually charged now. That's a new thing for the show.
I think that's the most polite way. Is like Juno Temple is.
Yeah.
There's just something about her.
Yeah.
When you're male, you're like, she wants it. You know?
Yeah. I know what you're just looking and you're like, yeah, this is wrong, but
she,
I feel like
is she?
I get the
asking
feeling.
Me for this.
Yeah, I get you.
You got check her out. And there's loads of movies. Afternoon Delight, she's in as well, where she plays a hooker.
Afternoon Delight, yeah, exactly.
I think that's what it's called. I left my head was just like, I'm calling this Afternoon Delight.
Temple, yeah.
I'm calling this Afternoon Delight. It's like a court drama, and I'm like Afternoon Delight.
Afternoon Delight.
That's what I'm
Hell
gonna call it.
But yeah, horns. Like I remember I saw the trailer for that, and I was like, that looks good. And I watched it, and I was like, I actually kind of enjoyed that, but it's not a particularly good movie.
No, it's not, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah, I like the premise.
It's extremely different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where they cannot tell lies. Is that what it is?
No, it's he is becoming more satanic looking.
Yeah.
But he's actually telling the truth. Isn't that the whole thing?
I can't remember.
I think he's like a pariah, and the more he does, like he becomes more devil-like, and just throughout the thing, like the more traditional way the devil looks.
Yeah.
And
right at the end, he's like full on.
Yeah, full on like long horns and everything, and you think that that's because he's done something bad, but really he hasn't. He's telling the truth the whole time, and it's the town making him look like. Yeah. It's like it's this kind of. I wouldn't say layered. I'd be giving the movie too much credit saying it's a layered metaphor, but it's a cool premise.
It is a cool premise, and it's a cool role for him to have.
Yeah.
The yellow leather jacket.
Very cool.
He looks so badass.
He does.
The minute I got him out there, I was like, I'd look good in a yellow leather jacket. Yeah. You forget you're not a Hollywood star.
It's true. It's like watching Drive. And the scorpion jacket and the gloves.
What a jacket. Yeah. I wanted one of those instantly after watching it.
I still want one.
Yeah, I priced them and all. Like the exact jacket. And I was like, I want that.
I did the same thing.
But I just know that I would not pull it off.
You got to get the driving gloves as well.
If you had the right confidence, though. Mm-hmm.
I think it'd make
if you look like Ryan Gosling.
It'd make a really good Halloween costume. Very easy.
Very easy. But I don't think a lot of people would get it.
Yeah, that's true. But then again.
But you'd get it.
Yeah.
That's enough.
And also,
I would just smack women around as well and do the point.
Do the point. There you go. You get it. You get what it is. And then you bring around a hammer.
Christina Hendrick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hips for everyone.
She does. There's not a lot of dialogue in that movie. No. Oscar Isaac's in that movie.
Oscar Isaac is in that movie.
Yeah. Before.
Standard.
Yeah. Standard. Yeah,
that's his name. Good, because they do Carey Mulligan's in it, isn't it? And they do like they talk at the table about how she was like, oh well, what's the special edition, or they do something.
Is there a special edition of you?
Something like that, isn't it? That's how I know his name is Standard in it.
So good. Bryan Cranston's in that movie.
Bryan Cranston is the mechanic.
He's really good.
He's really good in that, and that's when Bryan Cranston was nailing it in Breaking Bad, and he was showing up in tons of movies.
Yeah,
he was showing up. He showed up in that one. That massive bomb, because we're on box office bombs at the moment. What was that big?
Godzilla.
No, I can't remember.
Okay.
He wasn't Godzilla, but that didn't.
Movie 43.
No, he was in that one. John Carter. Carter.
He was in John Carter. Never seen.
Bryan Cranston's in John Carter.
Wow, poor Bryan Cranston.
What's the actor that plays John Carter in it?
I don't know, but
Taylor Kitsch.
Taylor Kitsch.
And there's a great scene where he has Bryan Cranston on his back, and he's running up a hill, but it's clearly a dummy because the dummy's just flailing. So there's just like a fake Bryan Cranston on his back, and it's just like, guys, this costs like $200 million to make.
Come on, guys.
What he's doing?
What are you doing?
What he's doing? Get like a stand-in. Like Taylor Kitsch is a strong guy. Get a guy with the same build as Bryan Cranston, and he runs up a hill.
Or even just get a guy with a torso. Just to sit in his back and CGI the legs,
like
or something.
The Clint Eastwood movie with Bradley Cooper. With the baby.
The baby. What's the fuck? We can't think of any movie names today.
It's killing me.
Oh my god.
It's only the really famous one that he did.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper, Clint Eastwood. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Didn't he win Oscars for it? No,
I'm pretty sure. The Mule.
No.
It says Bradley Cooper, Clint Eastwood movie is the Mule. What the fuck?
No, not that threesome fuel movie.
Not that. Oh my god, Mule.
The one about this American Sniper.
I
didn't even see it there. I was like, the one about the sniper.
Yeah.
The American Sniper.
In
fact, it's called the American Sniper. Where they have the worst looking fake baby ever.
Yeah. What do you think of American Sniper?
I enjoyed the movie until I read a few things about it and was like,
yeah, me too.
Yeah. He's a bit of a psychopath.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're kind of celebrating a guy that took a lot of lives.
Yeah.
Good or bad, for good or bad.
Yeah. He was doing his duty.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Clint Eastwood.
And yet, Joker. All the controversy around Joker.
Yeah,
you're
true.
depicting a bad guy as a good guy, which they don't do at all.
No.
Where we're actually kind of like... put it this way, depending on who's in power, they could be viewed as war crimes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like Zero Dark 30, sure.
Yeah. But, do you know, both those movies are really well-made movies.
Yeah.
And I really like Zero Dark 30.
Me too.
But I totally understand people saying Catherine Bigelow directed it as well.
Yeah.
James Cameron's old squeeze, for anyone who didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Not Sarah Connor. What's her name? James Cameron's other old squeeze. Linda Hamilton. Yeah. Used to be married.
Yeah.
There you go. Big Jim.
So we should probably move off box office because we've already done it.
Nah, let's keep talking about random shit.
But yeah, Joker made all the money.
Joker made all the money. And again, important that we remind everyone, was not released in China.
I know. Oh, and I had a fun fact that I told you earlier in the week about. So Aquaman is the tippity top of the DC movie slate. It made $1,148 million.
I had that number up there as well. Yeah.
But if you take away its Chinese intake, it makes less than 900 million.
Really?
So Joker, per population, more people went to see Joker than Aquaman. And Aquaman was in 3D, so premium price tickets on top of that. So per population, 100%, Joker was seen more.
That's really interesting. And you said you did the same thing for Dark Knight, and it still
Dark
makes...
Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, yeah.
That's a bit above it. And even if you take away...
It still makes $1 billion.
It still makes $1 billion.
Okay.
It only made around 50 million in China, the Dark Knight Rises.
It's not a big China movie.
But also, it was in 2012, and China was only starting to take off.
Yeah.
Like, now it's the second biggest movie market in the world. But it took a while.
Have you seen the Aquaman director being like, he's going to get real weird with it for the sequel?
James Wan,
yeah. And
he's a good director.
He is. He's a very good director.
The Conjuring is a very well-made horror movie.
No, that's Saw. Made the first Saw.
He made the first Saw as well, and he's a producer and all the rest of them.
And the guy who...
talk about diminishing returns.
I know. But the guy who gets trapped in the room is like the pilot in Aquaman. He's also his writing partner. I don't know the guy's name.
I know the actor, though.
Yeah.
He returns in one of them. Like this sixth Saw, he returns.
Does he?
Yeah, the guy who has to cut off his...
No. It's the guy... It's the guy who cuts off his foot is from fucking Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Carrie Mulligan. Is that his name? Or
Carrie Mulligan
Elways.
is a female.
Carrie Elways. It's something. I think it's Carrie Elways.
It's not Carrie Mulligan. I'm sure of that. You are bad with names today.
I really am. No, but it's Carrie Elways. Yeah, but the guy who has to cut off his foot, who gets trapped, in the game over, and he that's his writing partner.
Oh, that's really cool.
Lee Winnell.
Right.
So James Wan and him always write movies together, and James Wan normally directs, and Lee Winnell is in them, or he directs or whatever. They
really cool.
They work together. So he's in Aquaman as the pilot, basically.
James Wan also, isn't he the one who made Fast and Furious 7?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he's the one who made Fast and Furious 7, where Paul Walker died like mid-production. He had to take a break for 3 or 4 months while they rewrote the script.
Fast and Furious 7 is my favorite.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it actually says a lot when you know that what happened.
Totally.
And the fact that they had to rewrite a huge chunk of the script.
Yeah. I think it's just the best Fast and Furious overall.
And it's the only one that has emotional resonance because of the death of Paul Walker.
And it's probably the least egregious plot, I would say, of all the Fast and Furious.
It made 1.5 billion. Now, I definitely think that's because of Paul Walker dying as well. Like people are like, jeez, I say a lot of people were just interested to see how they pull it off. Like,
I remember people saying that the movie should get an Oscar because, just to link into what we were talking about earlier, there was a lot of buzz for it to get an Oscar because Paul Walker died.
Really?
Yeah, around the time. Or just be nominated.
Now, that would be more, that would be pretty obvious.
That's doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, really for the wrong reasons, because those films do not have the emotional content for an Oscar performance.
No, they don't.
Not saying, I've never seen Paul Walker dazzle me with a performance anyway. No offense to the guy.
What's his name in Fast and Furious? Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker and Vin Diesel.
I should know because he names the kid after Paul. Paul's not
after
Paul,
Brian.
Brian, thank you, Brian.
Brian O'Connor.
Brian O'Connor, that's it.
And Dominic Toretto.
Yeah. I always remember Dom.
Yeah, but
I know Hobbs now, especially because of Hobbs and Shaw.
Luke Hobbs and
Deckard Shaw. What a name!
Very good.
You're gonna be a badass with that name.
And Luke Evans is Deckard Shaw's brother.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name though.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, who cares? And then they did a good job of making like a simple villain in Jason Statham, where it's like just this one guy who's more badass than all 7 of these
all
people.
7 of them,
and it's great.
And kills Han, and then a few movies later is like best buds with everyone.
Best buds with everyone. Yeah, we're all a big family together.
Yeah, it's so weird
because his mom's Helen Mirren, so we can't really hate the guy, can we? So I don't know. It's just interesting, and it's interesting to put in perspective. To get back to the box office before we move on, that a movie that isn't released in China is doing so well.
It's a huge deal. It's such a big deal.
Yeah,
I don't even think people realize how big of a deal it is, because I'd love to know then if it was released in China,
how much money would it be on now?
And also, you don't know, because I don't know what the Chinese audience is like, because they're so censored.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if the Chinese people would be like, I have no clue. Would they be like, oh, we're getting something tangible here, like an R-rated movie about mental illness, or would they actually shy away from it?
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Because there are movies like...
But there's no data to back it up. Like, how would they react to that? Because they just don't get those movies.
Well, the Korean director who did Snowpiercer, I think he's Korean.
I think he's Korean, yeah.
Yeah, Korean. He does movies that are, I would say, are along the vein, like he made Oldboy.
Yeah.
And he's made other movies that I think are along in the vein of
Joker.
Of Joker, you know what I mean?
A lot of adult themes.
Adult themes of dealing with kind of mental illness, or like having Bong Joon-ho.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
His new movie, Parasite, is meant to be good.
I've read great things about that. Did he do Killing of a Sacred Deer?
I don't know. I'll have to check.
And The Lobster? Is he the same director? No.
I think it's someone else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. It's someone else. Yeah.
That's
the name. It's a weird like Hugo something.
That's
something.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Stuff. But yeah,
Snowpiercer is a good movie.
Snowpiercer is a very good movie, and basically all his movies are like really poignant, really well done, very well received, and everything. And they deal with kind of mental issues and kind of stuff that's a bit out there, you know.
But do they get released in China?
I don't know. I think they're Korean films. So I don't know what the Chinese film market is like, honestly.
No, or what the audience is like.
Yeah.
Like what they respond. Obviously, they love Fast and Furious and Transformers. Yeah. That's what I know.
Yeah. So
Pacific Rim as well.
Pacific Rim. Yeah. So is that just what they're? I don't know. I feel like I'm going to go back to making sweeping statements about a whole race, but yeah. By the way, he didn't direct Oldboy. That was someone else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you ever see the other Oldboy?
Oh my God, it's so bad.
Chan Wood Park, that he
Josh
directed
Brolin.
Oldboy. Yeah, with Josh Brolin.
Oh, so bad. Have you seen it?
Elizabeth Olsen, I have.
It's hard to watch. And Sharlto Copley?
Sharlto Copley, yeah, is the bad guy in it.
So bad.
Really, really bad.
And it's a great director. The guy who did Black Klansman.
I know. It's so good.
Spike Lee.
It
made it.
Should have been good.
Now, he talks about how it was like... Now, of course, they always say this, but the studio influence was heavily... he had to fight for everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Samuel L. Jackson's in it as well, actually.
He is in it, yeah. It's so bad.
Man,
even the dubbing for it is bad.
Yeah.
Where I was watching it going, I clearly can tell that Josh Brolin is in the studio talking to a microphone right now.
Yeah. And it, like, the hallway scene, the most famous scene in Oldboy, probably. Like, if you've ever seen it, it's just...
With the hammer.
It's just so bad, you know?
It's terrible. It's terrible. Have you ever... I've watched Stuntman break it down.
Mm-hmm. And they really don't like it.
And they really hate it.
Yeah.
Especially since he gets wounded in the original. He gets wounded a lot.
Yeah.
And right at the end, Josh Brolin takes out everyone and then just gets stabbed in the back. Yeah. After he's gone through the whole trials and tribulations of the fight. And then he gets stabbed in the back and he kind of turns around and just beats up a guy and it's done.
I mean, the best part of that Oldboy fight scene is like at one stage he's standing here, they're all there. They're all like...
Yeah, they're all wrecked.
They're all fucking tired and they've all been hit and he's standing there and he's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know?
You get that in Atomic Blonde as well.
Yeah.
Where you get exhausted during the fight. I love that.
Me too.
I love when you see that. You really don't see that.
No.
At all.
That's what's kind of good in Civil War. I think they do really well in the fight scene between Captain America and Iron Man.
At the end, especially.
And he's like, stay down. And he's like, I could do this all day. You know, it's such a it's nice to see, like, it's nice to just see heroes, especially protagonists. Like, they don't necessarily have to. They can win the fight at the end.
Yeah.
But just like see them struggle a bit or even get tired.
We've
know?
talked about this Casino Royale.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a good demonstration of it.
Yeah.
Where you just get to see how they're real people.
Mm-hmm.
And they could die, you know, that way. Like, you get to see
when he's choking out
the chinks in their armor.
It's really like it's tough to watch.
So blunt. Just the whole thing is just great.
And when she helps, and you're like, she moves the gun away or whatever he's reaching for.
Yeah. And
you're like, oh fuck, it's good.
That's some good action right there.
That's some good action. I know, like, that's what you respond to, really. Like, it's fun to see an end game where it's just, you know, superheroes being badasses or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you want a really good fight scene, John Wick does it well as well.
Yeah.
Like, John Wick is a badass, but he'll take a hit and he'll go down for a bit and he'll be like, whew. Or like
that one hurt.
Yeah. Or like when he faces off Common in John Wick 2, and you know they're in the train and they're really struggling to try and, like, it's cool.
It's really cool. Casino Royale director.
Yeah.
What was his next movie?
No idea.
Green Lantern.
No. Poor guy.
Fall from grace.
Poor guy. Well, Taika Waititi and Ryan Reynolds, they've made that joke now for their new movie where they're like, oh, we've never worked together.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure. Did you do Green Lantern? No. It's so weird to think Taika Waititi's in that movie. Because I watched,
as an actor.
Yeah.
I forget that he's an actor.
I watched that movie and no frame of reference to Taika Waititi. Now his name is everywhere.
I know.
You know?
I forgot he was in Green Lantern.
Me too.
I should go back and... Well, I don't want you to watch it.
No, you don't want to do that.
Forget it.
I mean, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds met on that movie, and he always, like...
Well, that's the one good thing came out of it.
Yeah, exactly. But
making beautiful babies.
And Mark Strong at Sinestro. That's another good thing.
When you see him in the yellow suit at the end, you're like, there could be hope.
Yeah.
There is...
Maybe.
An inkling of a god.
Yeah. Sinestro is another character. If we were talking before this about, like, DC villains we'd like to see a movie, Lex Luthor done right, I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Sinestro is another one I think is a really interesting villain who, like, you know, he's not just a straight up villain. He does bad things, but
Mark Strong as well is actually a great casting.
He's a great
choice.
pick. Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And
anyway,
yes,
sorry.
We should move on.
Yeah, we really should.
We should move on.
We've gone deep down that hole.
We have, yeah. This is the only box office. Much like, as always, we've fucking gone in strong and spoken about nothing.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but not sorry.
Joker made $1 billion, eh?
Joker made $1 billion. That to sum up those probably 30 minutes, Joker made $1 billion. A lot of other movies bombed.
Yeah.
We're going to get on to reviews.
Well, we just watched Mandalorian episode 3.
Episode 3.
Oh my god, I still have a boner from it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm at least semi.
I'm at least. I could be flaccid or erect depending on how much I think about it.
Either way, I need new underwear.
Yeah, me too.
Back and front. Great episode.
So good.
So good. We talked about the premiere.
Yeah.
We showed all 3 of the first 3 episodes of it.
Yeah.
And critics said it gets better and better. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a show in our hands.
We do.
This is I love this episode.
Yeah. It's amazing. Everything about it.
And we don't have Disney Plus.
No.
So we're watching this in the shittiest, grainiest quality.
Yeah.
Man, I want to see this in 4K.
Have you ever seen... Do you know Tony Cantwell?
No.
He's an Irish comedian and he does kind of videos, and he's put out one on The Mandalorian, and he's like the Garda Commissioner, and he's playing a character. And
Which would be like a police commissioner.
Yes, a police commissioner. An officer of the law. Yeah. And he's the Garda Commissioner, and he's like... You know, I'm interested in all you people saying you've seen The Mandalorian and it not being out in Ireland. You know, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I'm not doing it justice.
It sucks. We don't get it until March.
Which is terrible.
Like, we don't get Disney Plus until March.
Yeah. And I have to watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know, it's bad enough that it comes out on Friday and I have to wait a bit before I can see it still, you know. It's just...
Hey, Disney are tightening up.
Yeah.
I found it difficult to watch these episodes, except for the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one.
You should use the link I sent you. It's worked every time for me.
Go.
There you go. No problem. What? Sorry. But yeah, Mandalorian, it's exactly like it gets better. Every single episode is better and better. And the criticism from the first episode of go away by the third one. They're like, it's a guy in a helmet. How are we going to relate to him?
Yep.
By episode 3, you're like, oh, I understand him now.
I totally understand him.
You were like, you were saying, I don't know if you said this on air, but you were like, interested in how he moves.
Yeah, I was saying there's no real definitive pattern. Like, I don't recognize it, and now I'm recognizing it.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'm just slowly falling in love with the character. I'm like, I'm so on his side now.
Yeah.
And I think it's about time
Mm-hmm.
we talked about Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
My God.
Oh, the cutest thing ever put to screen.
I can't show this to my girlfriend. She'll have baby eyes for like a month at least.
Know.
She'll be like, we need babies.
It's amazing. Like
Plural.
We don't want to get into too much spoilers because, you know, people haven't seen it, but
this is the only thing I think we should spoil.
Yeah, because it's in the zeitgeist, basically. Yeah. You've all heard about Baby Yoda, I'm sure.
Since I've seen Star Wars tweet about it and put it on Instagram, I'm like, okay, the cat's out of the bag.
People know. Yeah.
Yoda's out of the bag. Yoda's out of the pram.
Yoda's out of the pram, out of his little hovering pram.
I want one of those.
Me too.
It's fucking handy, isn't it?
Right, yeah. And I love that, like, I love his wonder.
He could work out and he'd just be there beside me.
I love his wonder, where he's kind of like, he's just floating in this pram and he's kind of just like looking around and everything.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, it's really interesting.
I'd kill family members to protect.
Me too. Me too.
It's scary.
Yeah. You understand why someone could form an attachment to this thing and do certain things.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everything about the music. I'm in love with the music.
The music is so good. It's so good.
Yeah. On Spotify, you go on Spotify, they have the music broken down into episodes, so you can listen to all the music from episode 1, episode 2, episode 3.
And you're so, but at this point, all the motifs are familiar now.
Totally.
And I just love them.
Yeah.
I love them. I spark every time they come on now. You know. It's great.
Even when it starts, like you're listening and you're like waiting, and then the Mandalorian will come on screen and you'll just hear his theme and you're like, oh, there he is.
It's great.
It's so good.
As I said to you on the last episode, Ennio Morricone is my favorite composer of all time.
Yeah.
And this is like an absolute emulation of all his work. It's perfect.
It's so good.
All his westerns. I love it so much. And there's even more electric guitar in the third episode, which is so him.
Yeah.
It's so it's great.
And it's so cool how it translates so well to Star Wars and everything.
But also, people have been watching westerns for years.
Yeah.
And Ennio Morricone has his stank all over all of them. So it's funny when you just watch it, it instantly takes you back to the Western as well, which is the exact feel that we want for Star Wars.
I quite like that the Mandalorian is more of a gunslinger type character. Like, there are other Mandalorians in the show, and they have a very different design in terms of like their blasters and they have jetpacks and everything. Whereas him, I think with the cape, and he has the big rifle on his back, you know, like a gunslinger, and he has the one gun that he just kind of shoots like Han Solo shoots or like that. I think it's really good.
It's very cool.
And then to have the rope dart that he shoots out as well, kind of like a whip or a lasso or something.
Isn't it weird that you're superimposing emotions on the helmet?
Yeah.
Like, I just understand.
I understand.
Now. It's so strange.
Totally. And he said, again, they've done a really good job making him say so little but say so much as well.
And I was afraid that I wouldn't kind of get that attachment and understand what he's thinking and feeling, and it works so well.
I want to spoil one other element. There's a moment where someone tries to take his helmet off, and I was like, oh my God, don't do that. I was like, it's
how dare you?
It's funny. In episode 1, you're like, oh, I wonder if is he ever going to take it off? You know, like. I don't know if I'll be able to connect with him. And then by episode 3, someone tries to take his helmet off, and you're like, oh my God.
Oh, you ain't going like that?
It's like one of the worst things I've ever seen. I was like, oh my Jesus, no.
The disrespect.
I feel like
I'm offended.
I feel like I'm going to be shot. I'm going to go, if Pedro Pascal's face is ever shown in this, I'm just going, oh my God.
I was ready on Twitter. I was so triggered.
I was like triggered. Like that lady who was triggered by the first episode.
Oh, yeah, because there's no female characters. Except there is female characters.
There is a female character, and she's the most badass Mandalorian, basically.
Well, that helmet is like a crown.
It's so good. I love it. It's like Nordic because she has the furs and everything.
Yeah, and she seems like the voice of reason as well.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Yeah.
I love I have spoken.
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
The next time I'm in an argument with my girlfriend, I'll be like, I have spoken.
I have spoken, and walk away.
Yeah.
And then as Nick Nolte.
It is anal tonight.
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
Why am I single?
I don't know. No Baby Yoda though.
No.
Yeah, no risk of that. Yeah,
but I want a Baby Yoda.
I know. Everyone wants a baby. You'll be able to get one for Christmas.
Yeah.
They're
people have been going crazy that you can't buy one already. I didn't read why you can't buy one, but I assume it's to stop spoilers.
Yeah. Jon Favreau really wanted to keep that secret, and I'm sure he was probably only able to hold off the Disney execs so much. I'm sure
they were chomping at the bit.
I'm sure he would have preferred, after all 8 episodes come out, then we can do Baby Yoda. But I'd say the Disney execs were like, we need to get that out for Christmas, baby.
Yeah, it's so close to Christmas.
We need to get them. All Disney execs are Elvis. Yeah, we got to get it out for Christmas, baby. Yeah. So you'll be able to buy a Baby Yoda.
It's such a cash cow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Star Wars. Just
I know.
The merchandise.
But I love it.
Yeah, no, yeah. It works. It works really well. And I always see things and go, I want that. I want to buy that.
Me too. It's like a BB-8. Where people, like when BB-8 first came out, you can get the remote control one. I was like, man, I'd really like a good
I know.
BB-8.
I thought the same thing. And when The Force Awakens came out, I bought these cast iron figurines. Die cast figurines. And I spent a bit of money on them. And my girlfriend was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I have a problem. But I needed them.
Yeah.
I needed them. I got the Kylo Ren and I got... what's the Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
And then I got one of the old school stormtroopers as well. And I was so happy with myself. I was so happy until I went home and she's like, what you doing, you nerd?
I know, yeah.
Stop bullying me.
I've bought a lot of things where I always find when I got older and I started like making money, I just buy stuff that I wanted as a kid. Yeah. Like I have no intention of using it, but I was like, I remember wanting that as a kid, so I'm gonna buy it for myself now. Yeah. It's like when Ed Sheeran got famous, first thing he did was go out and buy the Millennium Falcon Lego set. That's exactly what I'd do.
Yeah, totally.
If I started making money. But anyway, everyone check out The Mandalorian.
It's great, this 3rd episode.
Yeah. First 3 episodes, now you can watch them all together. And I think it's the best way to enjoy it, because you're like, if you were tentative on the first episode, watch the second and the third one all together, all the way through. It's well worth your time. And
the shorter format is working for me.
Me too.
At first I was like, wait, first episode's less than 40 minutes long. Yeah. The second episode was taking the piss though. 30 minutes long?
Yeah, I know.
I was like, what the hell? I got the same thing you said, where especially with the second episode, where I was like, oh, this is like half the episode. Yeah. It's not up. And then I looked up like episode length and it came up, you know.
But here's the thing with that. Our complaints always about the Netflix Daredevil or Marvel shows is that, oh man, 13 episodes, you didn't need it, you know?
Yeah, especially when there's the odd episode that's like an hour and 10 minutes long.
Yeah. Like, and you're like, why is this one so long? Like,
especially when it's not the best. Like the Daredevil, it works because it's such a goddamn good show. But then Jessica Jones, you're like, oh, this is great. And then when you're on the 5th episode, you're like, I'm only 5 episodes in. Yeah. There's another... 7 episodes to go?
It can really slog. So
8 episodes. It's 13 episodes.
13 episodes, yeah.
So another 8 episodes, which is over 8 hours, because there's always that sneaky fucking episode that's like an hour and 10, an hour and 15. I got the same with Luke Cage. Like, I liked Luke Cage. I didn't love it, but I liked it. Yeah. But there was that slump where you're like, okay, this episode is so long.
As soon as Cottonmouth, is that his name? As soon as he died,
they had Mahershala Ali, 2-time Oscar winner.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali. As soon as he died in the first season of Luke Cage, every episode after that dragged, and that was approaching the season finale. Like it was meant to be building and everything.
It was ramping up,
but everything after that was just. It was like, Jesus, I really miss Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth's not dead, guys. Is he? Is he dead? That's what I'm thinking.
I'm like, surely he can't be dead.
He can't be dead. He looked quite dead, but he can't be dead.
Yes, I need him to stand in front of that Biggie poster again.
Playing in front of it was so cool. Yeah. Just a villain that's playing jazz, piano. Electric piano. Yeah. Oh, so cool.
Yeah. And then his background reveal. I was really into the character where he was like, I could have been something, and now I was forced down this life because of you. You know. But anyway.
But now he's going to be reincarnated
as Blade.
So I'm okay with that.
The Daywalker. It's cool.
I'm okay with that then.
Me too. I'm okay with it too.
Yeah. Will we move on to trailers?
We should move on to trailers, yes.
So we watched the new Cats trailer.
Hey, Cats. Is anyone else looking forward to Cats as much as we are?
No.
Didn't think so.
So Sonic made a really bad trailer.
It did.
People barfed when they seen Sonic.
Yeah. And now they've tricked everyone.
And changed it.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Cats, except they doubled down.
They doubled down.
Oh, we getting cat people.
Baby.
Yep.
And I'm strangely attracted still to the cat people.
Well, Taylor Swift.
Yeah. But even the main girl, the main cat, I'm still for some reason I still find them attractive.
She's got more of a furry face than Taylor Swift's character. That's why I didn't really.
They probably want you to know that that's Taylor Swift.
And Judi Dench they just postponed her waxing.
Yeah, basically, and put her in a fur coat. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And Ian McKellen looks like Ian McKellen, just a bit disheveled.
Yeah, and then James Corden, they were like, "We're casting you as the funny fat cat, but we're going to put you in an even fatter fat suit." Basically,
like James Corden is wearing a fat suit.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's so weird.
Or is he? Is that just CGI?
I don't know.
James
Corden doesn't look that. People cast him as like the funny fat guy. You see him on the late, or is it the Late Show? Is that the one he does?
Something like that.
He doesn't look that fat.
No, not at all.
He looks like
used to be though.
He used to be totally. You look at Gavin and Stacey and stuff. And he's a much bigger guy, but even now he doesn't look that bad.
No, not at all.
So it's kind of funny that you're watching the trailer and it's like
that could be money as well.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
So successful now.
Yeah, maybe he just looks rich. And,
that could be it.
I just associate him as not.
You know what?
Yeah, he probably doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, all those dollars have taken the edges off.
What a career trajectory for him.
No, from Gavin and Stacey to like this huge talk show host in America.
Yeah, huge.
And he's good.
He is.
He's really good.
He is good.
I've seen him in interviews talking about how like if he doesn't feel like he likes to think that he does something that no other host can do.
Yeah,
like, that's what he wants. Yeah. So if he doesn't feel like he's made an episode that feels like that, then he hasn't done his job right. Yeah, which I really like.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I quite like James Corden. I don't particularly like his show, but
no, I don't really watch it either.
Yeah, and it's because it's made for American audiences.
Yeah, well, all those late night shows, there's just this weird template, and Jimmy Fallon just stop laughing.
Yeah,
stop laughing.
I can't.
It's not that funny.
I can't watch any Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Kimmel, I don't mind. Conan O'Brien, I actually quite like.
I like Conan O'Brien.
I think he's good at getting a story while still being entertaining to an American audience, you know?
Yeah, I know. He's better when he has the whole couch setup.
Do you think? I actually quite like his new setup.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant.
Oh,
where they're kind of like boating on couches.
Oh,
he doesn't have his desk in front of him.
Totally. And he's more dressed down.
Yeah.
I think that's working really well. That. And
feels more like an interview than him just selling a product.
And he doesn't try and do like the segments with the guests where they play a game. Like he'll have the conversation and then he'll do his famous segments where he goes out and explores somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I always enjoy those. I think they're good. So, but back to Cats. Oh, Jesus, I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, it's a travesty.
Yeah. It's just like I hate Jason Derulo. Everything he does in this trailer annoys
hate Idris
me.
Elba, and I love Idris Elba, but I hate him as a Catman.
You know what? I quite like to watch it, and if Idris Elba is just having so much fun, I think
he looks so
campy
in it, and I just never. I can't see him as that campy character. Yeah. It's so weird.
We should. He's
got the duster on and his hat and all.
We should force someone. Someone has to sit down and watch every episode of Luther, and then go see Cats.
I know. Yeah, exactly. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And Robert Pattinson is not in it. Because when we first covered this trailer, we're like, Robert Pattinson was Catman before he was Batman. He's not actually in it. It's just a dude that looks like Robert Pattinson. And I just don't care who that guy is because I don't care about this movie at all.
My extent of the knowledge of Cats comes from Team America World Police.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because one of the characters was raped by Mr. Mistopheles. That's the only thing I know about anything. I don't like actors because... Oh, it's so good.
And like Cats, why it doesn't work is because they're cat people. Like so simple. It's so simple. It looks like a man and a female cat went into a back room, and then Idris Elba walked out as Catman. You're like, that shouldn't happen, folks.
Yeah, this looks wrong.
This is wrong.
I mean, it works. I imagine it works as a Broadway show. You know.
Oh yeah, of course. But it's people kind of dressed up as cats, but they don't look like actual cats.
Yeah. I
wonder if the men are wearing pants.
I don't know. I'd love to see the behind the scenes.
Like, is there? Because clearly there's no genitalia swinging about the places.
No.
So like
everything looks a bit high and tight.
So are the males always wearing pants? I didn't focus enough on that.
Oh no, but we'll
next
have to.
time I will.
Yes, focus very very intently on that.
On their bits.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, I'd love to see the behind the scenes, what they look like on set.
Yeah.
Because it's either like all green screen or incredibly terrifying.
Oh, some of the sets could be great because, of course, they're cats, so everything has to be made a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
It might win best makeup.
It might, but I don't think it's makeup.
Yeah, me neither.
Seems like it's all CGI. Well, the majority of it, except for Judi Dench. She just waltzed in there with a jacket on, fur coat on.
Yeah. I texted you this the other day.
I actually loved it, Judi Dench, by the way.
Yeah.
She's great.
She is great.
But
she
does look like she's not even wearing makeup. It's just something weird about her. Yeah. Same with Ian McKellen.
She's such a classic actress. Same with Ian McKellen. Yeah. They're like royalty.
Her is M.
Yeah.
In all the James Bond movies, like she's like the only character that crossed over from the Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Into the Daniel Craig franchise, and it's brilliant
for all the right reasons.
And she's, as we talked about this before, she's such a strong female
character, yeah.
Through all of those movies, and I know they've been talking about, we need a female James Bond. She is fucking more intense than James Bond himself. She puts him in check every time.
She's terrifying.
Sit down, James.
Yeah.
Sit down, James.
He like tries flirting with her, and she's like, "What are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing?" Yeah. And yeah, and even when he breaks into her house in Skyfall, he's like, "When's your husband getting home?" She's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" You know? It's really good. Yeah. They have a great dynamic there.
And who cares about her husband? I'll beat the shit out of you.
Yeah,
you know,
I'll beat the shit out of you. What does it matter when my husband's getting home? I'll fucking kill you. Yeah, but just I texted you this the other day, relating Cats to Sonic, where Sonic had the worst trailer. Do you think people now have an onus to Sonic? Do you think they realize? Do you think people realize now that because they got Sonic changed, they now have an onus to see the movie?
Like, I had a hand in creating this.
Yeah, so now, after kicking up such a fuss, it's kind of on me to go and see this movie. Do you think people feel that way?
I feel like people are going to go, I did that. I had a creative hand in that. But
forget about it.
I might not see it.
Yeah, I'll pirate it.
Yeah. That's what I think is going to happen.
Crazy.
But it is interesting, though. Yeah. Like, fan and participation. Mm-hmm. It is a kind of good feeling, though, because I guess we made a podcast giving out about it as well.
Yeah.
We made this happen.
I'm
patting myself on the back.
Yeah. And maybe, you know what, I'll see Sonic now.
I think I'll see it. Mm-hmm. But it's more for Jim Carrey more than anything else.
Yeah.
More Carrey.
There's this YouTube channel I watch called Funhouse, and they spoke about this, and they made a lot of good points. And one of the guys at it, he was like talking about what he would do as a Sonic movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds a million times better.
Really?
Than what we would do. He would just say, like, set it all in Sonic's world, have it all be animated. There's no need for the live action.
Totally. 100%.
Jim Carrey can still voice Dr. Eggman.
Oh, he do such a great job.
And instead of like Sonic could still be a recluse who's just using his powers to like read comics and do whatever, like living it. And then you have Miles, whose Tails comes up and tries to force Sonic into like coming down and helping people
and doing good things.
Yeah. And that that's still like this. You got the same story structure. It's the same thing, but it's just far more enjoyable. Like, what's James Marsden doing in this movie?
I know. Except for looking good, as he always does.
But
here also, Cats and Sonic have one big thing as well. What am I saying?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, sorry. They both, like, the first Sonic was like an amalgamation of a person and some weird blue hedgehog.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. And that's why Cats doesn't work as well. Like, why humanize this creature? Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel right.
No.
It really doesn't feel right.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, in common with each other. That's what I meant to say. But then I was like, what was my point going to be again? I was like, I lost it.
Cats and Sonic have this strong connection.
Yeah, but don't make a thing look like a man and a beast fucking procreated. You know what I mean?
Did the diddly.
Like, bestiality. Yeah. You hear that? We're officially against bestiality.
Officially on this show.
Are we?
I don't know.
We're almost officially.
I quite like that episode of Rick and Morty where they go into Beth's dreamland and the kid who was abandoned there has fucked all the creatures and been eating them, and they've all fucked up limbs and everything.
It's a fucking disgusting episode.
I love it.
It's a great episode, though.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
And I'm still against it.
Yeah, me
After
too.
your point.
Yes, we're against it. Is there any other trailer that's worth talking about?
You know, we got so much news.
We do. We do have a lot of news. We'll move on. Eventually, we'll talk about the two trailers we have written down. Yeah. They've been on our list for the last 2 weeks. But, so are we going to get into this Elizabeth Banks, Charlie's Angels thing?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, she, even before the movie came out...
It's bad.
I haven't read these specifically. You were the one who read them.
Yeah. So she was pretty much... She was gender shaming men and saying that if the movie fails, it's because of the stereotype that men do not want to see women in action movies.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? maybe say it after your movie bombs, but like kind of guilting an audience to see your movie before it comes out, it's just a wrong move. But like, there's certain points I'm sure that she's making that ring true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you watch the trailer, this movie does not look like it's made for men.
No, it doesn't. We were watching the trailer and it's like,
or at least the average guy. Like, I just don't think it's going to be like, oh, I'll go see that.
It looks like it's marketed to women.
100%.
Yeah.
I said to you, it looks like Spice World.
Yeah. Like they've even cast the guy who's the hot geeky scientist, Noah Centineo. Is that him?
Sure.
Noah, I don't know. I need to
I don't know either.
I don't know. I need to look up, but he's like the heartthrob at the moment. So like even casting him in the movie, and then
Bosley is now a female, so it's been gender swapped.
It's been a gender swap to Elizabeth Banks.
So it was famously Bill Murray in the old ones. Now the old movies are like soft porn, though. I do understand that.
Oh yeah, I get it.
While Elizabeth Banks might be looking at them going, "What the fuck?" Like, they were highly sexualized.
Totally, but also very popular. So
yeah, they made money,
which is problematic, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose. I still see them in the leather pants.
Yeah,
Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, and Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
You know, Drew Barrymore could stay at the back of the bus. I don't know how she made that.
Me neither.
That cut.
Yeah, she's a weird choice. I'm trying to figure out this young hot guy. Noah Centineo. He's the new heartthrob at the moment. He was in that movie about the Asian girl, To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Right.
He was like the main one. Yeah, he's the heartthrob guy at the moment.
Okay.
So even casting him in this movie is kind of like, it's and then they talk about like the wardrobe in it. They're really excited about that.
They're talking a lot about clothes.
Yeah.
It's just not. It does not look like it's a movie built for men.
No. And we were talking about this as well, like Hustlers. People would be like, "Oh, you go see Hustlers because it's about a load of strippers and they're just looking sexy all the time." Hustlers isn't a man's movie, I don't think.
No, and honestly, this is the thing. Like, men don't really do that. They just don't. They don't like the Magic Mike for men. There just isn't one.
No.
Like, if you said to me, "Do you want to go?" Like, put it this way, right? So if you had like Magic Mike, of course, it's actually a good movie. Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah.
I actually like the movie.
Yeah.
I even like the sequel. Even
Really?
The sequel's not as good.
I've heard the sequel isn't very good.
Yeah, the sequel's just more abs and dimples.
Yeah.
But
Joe Manganiello, that's what you bring Joe Manganiello in for.
Danny Glover's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or sorry, Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
Danny Glover, put your shirt back on.
Donald
you
Glover,
are too old for this shit.
I think I've watched the clip with Donald Glover. Doesn't he like sing?
And he's really good in it.
Yeah.
And he actually sort of has abs. This is before he ate all those burgers.
Oh, okay.
Fuck it, that guy's so talented. He can do whatever fuck he wants.
It's true.
He can do whatever fuck he wants.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Magic Mike, like, women went to see that for the good-looking Channing Tatum. Matthew McConaughey looked well in that as well.
50 Shades, that's another one.
50 Shades, exactly.
Yeah.
Men don't really see those type of movies.
No.
Like, they'll go see Expendables before they'll just see hot chicks dancing around. They just really will.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
I suppose we could probably get in trouble for just blanket. Men like this, and men like...
I know.
There's obviously nuance to everything, but we're just using... I suppose we're just using the parlance of Elizabeth Banks, who's saying in a broad statement, men don't want to see this movie. We're just doing the same thing, basically.
Not even saying that men don't want to see it, but that if this film fails, it's men's fault.
Yeah.
Now, the movie came out and made barely over 8 million in America.
With a 48 million budget, did you say?
48 million budget. But this is now the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
The most important time.
Yeah.
For making money, like it's the best indication of how well the movie's going to do.
Absolutely.
It made 8 million in America.
Pathetic.
So that shows not only did men not want to see it, but it didn't even speak to women either.
Yeah. And funny enough, we were watching the trailer and we like Elizabeth Banks, always have.
I think she's great.
She's great, and we saw the trailer, and a compliment to her. We were like, 48 million. That does not look like a $48 million.
They stretched that budget.
They stretched that budget, which again is a mark of a good director. Coming in under time and under budget, which I'm sure Elizabeth Banks does.
And also, I think Elizabeth Banks is one of many, of course, talented actresses that break the whole stereotype of women can't be funny.
Yeah,
I always find her funny in everything.
Everything she's in, she's hilarious.
Like, she's gorgeous, she's hilarious, and she's a really good actress. Especially her as Effie in Hunger Games. She's really good, especially in the last two where you really kind of see her. Where she's a bit more of a dramatic kind of storyline.
Stretch performance.
Yeah, definitely. And then you find out she directed Pitch Perfect 3, which is supposed to be a decent movie. I haven't seen it.
I've heard that's like the best one. Everyone cites it as the best Pitch Perfect.
It made a good bit of money as well.
And she's in all 3 of them. She produced them.
And she's in them as the commentator.
Yeah. So
I've actually seen none of them, but
neither have I.
I've heard that they're good movies.
I've only heard good things about it, and I've never seen them.
And I've always thought, I don't know if I'd be into that.
Yeah.
It just looks like it's more for girls, really. Even like teenage girls. But I've actually heard loads of guys saying it's hilarious. It's actually really good.
Yeah. It was like when I watched Bridesmaids for the first time.
Bridesmaids is fucking good.
It's a hilarious movie, and I love, like, it's so funny, but it was almost polarizing when people were like, oh, it's Hangover for women. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, well, maybe I won't watch it.
The marketing definitely gave me that impression.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, they're just trying to cash in on that whole this kind of template to use for The Hangover. Yeah. Here's a bunch of women going crazy. Yeah. Paul Feig directed it. It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
It's really good.
And Paul Feig, his directing, it can be iffy at times.
Yeah, he did Ghostbusters.
Also,
Also, Melissa McCartney is so good in Bridesmaids.
Yeah, but that's
where now she just it seems like she's almost typecast as the funny large girl.
It's the same shtick, you know, and it's just.
He also did this. So he did Spy.
Yeah,
that's a great movie.
That is a good movie.
And again, Melissa McCartney is the kind of jolly big girl that's put fish out of water, but it really works.
It works well, and they have good It's about Melissa McCarthy, but there's good male roles in that as well.
Jason Statham is
hilarious.
Hilarious in that.
Jude Law as well.
Jude Law's great.
Yeah. It's like, sometimes, I don't know, like in the
Even Rose Byrne is good in that as well.
Yeah, she is, yeah. But yeah, sometimes in like movies like Charlie's Angels and everything, like it looks like it's directly marketed to women in the trailer. We watched the trailer, it seems like it's marketed towards women. It's an action movie and a movie for them. Like, you could bring your little girl to see it.
It seems like that anyway.
And it's just, I just wouldn't see it. So I think it's a bit harsh to say, like, make a movie to interest everyone.
Yeah, totally.
Like, if you're going to direct it at women, don't be angry at men for not going to see it.
I know. And then maybe Elizabeth Banks made a movie for men and women, but the trailer and the marketing team
doesn't seem that way.
It doesn't seem that way.
Yeah.
So like maybe, but she also made a statement, we should say, about Wonder Woman, and obviously I assume it was the reporter or the interviewer said, well, what about Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel? And she said, well, the superhero genre is a male genre, which is just that's another broad statement to make.
Yeah.
And that Wonder Woman and Captain America only did well because they're like episodes and they're building to a much bigger male driven product, which seems really weird because I said to you that Wonder Woman is setting up Justice League, sure, but Wonder Woman did better than Justice League.
Which is weird.
And Justice League has Superman and Batman, the two big males the two big driving forces, the biggest driving forces of the DC comics. Yeah, I would say.
So the two biggest characters, and Wonder Woman was in it as well.
And she was in it as well. Yeah. But the whole thing is like, you could say that the movie could be driven by them, but yet Wonder Woman, when she was on her own, made more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Captain Marvel made more money than Thor Ragnarok.
It's $1 billion movie.
It made more than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. And that doesn't speak to the quality of the movie.
No, it's actually not a great movie.
It's not a great movie.
But it's a female-led movie that made a ton of money. And I assume it's because little girls were like, oh, this is great. I get to see me as a superhero.
There's nothing cooler. Like, you know, you had these moments as a kid where you dressed up as Luke Skywalker or whatever. Yeah. You know, you see, I've been looking at the Galaxy's Edge stuff because I really want to go there. It
looks great.
It looks so cool.
You showed me some of it.
Yeah. And like they're building lightsabers and everything and the walking around. But like, a little girl dressed as Rey, you know, it's just cool to see.
So cool.
And then like
it melts my heart.
It's the same thing. It's nice that we have these like roles now. You know,
definitely.
Yeah.
And also, Force Awakens, Rey is driving that movie 100%.
She's awesome.
Luke is off in the background. Yeah. He's not in the movie.
Yeah.
And that movie made $2 billion. Now you could say it's Star Wars and it is the first
established
movie.
Property.
Fuck, I'm actually countering my own point.
Well, no.
But Rey is like a great character.
Totally, in The Force Awakens.
In The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. Let's not talk about
it. But I mean, it doesn't even work where she's like, those are established franchises. Charlie's Angels is an established franchise as well.
100%. Yeah.
So it's she's, I don't know, she's kind of mixing up her. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, it's a bad thing to say when you're trying to promote your movie.
It hasn't come across well. It certainly hasn't been received well by audiences, it seems.
And I'd imagine if you're the studio making Charlie's Angels, you're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But I looked up what it is. It's on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 54% critical review, but 79% audience score.
Right.
So that's kind of standard for a movie like this.
And probably 79 people went to see it.
Yeah, probably.
From the sounds of it.
From the sounds of it. Yeah, it must be everyone who saw it reviewed it. That's why. That's literally all the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we like you, Elizabeth Banks. Please stop hating us for what we were born as.
I'm sorry I didn't go to see
I'm sorry your movie's not doing well.
But I'm not going to see it.
I'm not going to go see it. We were talking about this earlier because you just watched... you don't know I've written this down either. You just watched the new Jumanji, and you were like, Jack Black's amazing in that.
So good.
He wants to either be the Kingpin in the Marvel movies, or the Thing. Now,
Jack Black is the Thing.
Vincent D'Onofrio should always be Kingpin. No one should take that away from him. He's too good. Jack Black is the Thing. I don't find egregious. I think
no, but I never thought. I think he could be better utilized as a different character.
I think he'd be good as... I know Patton Oswalt wants to play him, but MODOK...
Right.
You know, the big-headed guy.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt really wants to be MODOK.
And he would be great as him too.
He would be great, but Jack Black
and they would probably play it in the same vein. To like the comedic kind of side of things, but Jack Black is a bit more turned up than Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
He's a bit more subdued, like with his...
Yeah. I would like Jack Black in the Marvel Universe. I don't know exactly as who. He could be interesting. He might
Maybe he doesn't even have to be a superhero either. Like, he could just be the guy in the chair.
He could be like...
make a great guy in the chair.
Yeah, he could be like Chris O'Dowd in Thor: The Dark World, where he's just on a date with...
One of the best things about that movie.
It is. It's a great scene.
Love him in that movie.
I'm actually disappointed because Chris O'Dowd can't be a superhero now because he was in that. You know, it's a bit...
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, it'd be interesting. Anyway, I like Jack Black.
I love Jack Black.
Yeah.
Jack Black's that guy who just play himself in every movie. Like, School of Rock just seems like he 100% was like, guys, I'm just not going to act.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
Before last week's episode, we spent so long talking about School of Rock.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Him in Tropic Thunder.
Hilarious.
It's that coke fiend. Yeah. Oh my god.
Walking around like this all the time. He's like licking his lips.
So good. Yeah. He's my favorite thing about Jumanji.
Yeah.
In the first one anyway. Mm-hmm. It looks like Kevin Hart in the sequel though.
As Danny Glover.
Oh, it's gonna be to great. A T.
Yeah, he has it down. Whereas The Rock is kind of struggling.
Well, The Rock's doing a funny voice.
Yeah. He's not doing Danny DeVito. he's doing a funny voice. Whereas Kevin Hart has Danny Glover down.
Sadly, Jumanji, the next level, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
It kind of shows The Rock's acting limitations.
Yeah, totally.
But fuck it, I don't go to see a movie with The Rock in it for his acting as such. No. Like, he's just charisma.
You know what?
He's charisma and muscles.
It's funny. The new Jumanji movie is actually not bad. It's a pretty good movie. Like,
it's way better than it should be.
It's way better than it should be. And the sequel has done something kind of fun. And it's like, normally I would think, you know, they've cast like for the older actors, normally I'm like, maybe they get someone who's not as fun as Danny DeVito and Danny Glover. Yeah. And I think those are two fun choices for them to do. So I actually quite like
Daddy's Home 2.
Daddy's Home 2,
I never seen it.
Neither have I.
But when I seen John Lithgow
and Mel Gibson,
I was like, fuck yeah.
That's a good choice.
That's a really good choice.
Yeah.
Not a safe choice at all.
No, but a good
no movie safe with Mel Gibson on set anyway.
Funny enough, we were talking about this before. I just watched Lethal Weapon 4 again. Danny Glover, Mel Gibson in it. Fucking great movies. Great. I really need to watch the other three.
Shane Black.
I know, Shane Black.
Some guy.
Yeah, he is some guy. Shane Black also wrote Monster Squad as well, which is meant to be a really good movie. That. Yeah, me too.
But here, we're going a bit over time.
Fuck it.
We should talk about Joker.
We should.
It nearly had a sequel. So close.
Nearly had a sequel, and then instead of asking random people, someone asked Todd Phillips, you know, the guy who directed the movie. He was like, yeah, no, that's not happening.
Talks are in the very, very preliminary stages.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The initial report was from THR, the Hollywood Reporter, who do not publicize rumors. Like, they are ironclad. They're really good.
Yeah.
So that's why everyone took it at face value and was like, Joker 2, it's official, it's happening. And also in the report, I don't know, where the fuck did this come from? Because it sounds like there was a lot of fiction in it. Mm-hmm. So they said that Todd Phillips stormed the DC headquarters and was like, I want your back catalogue of villains. I want to do it to tons of different villains. I want to give them their own origin movie with my new, my black DC black label. Yeah. And they were like, no. And supposedly this was the original story was that he left the building with one other character, the rights to one other character. None of that happened.
None of that happens. Yeah.
And Todd Phillips was like, no. He also, did you see his interview where he was saying that's not me at all.
You were telling me about it.
I would never do that.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying. And he's also said that he'd been working with Warner Brothers for something like 14 to 15 years and has his own production house with Bradley Cooper based in Warner Brothers Studios. Yeah. So he's like, I would never do that. Yeah. That's not me.
Yeah.
So he does say that originally when he pitched Joker, he also said, I would love to do this to other characters and we do like the DC Black Label, and DC were like, no. Okay, we can talk about Joker, but we're not giving you the rights to all these other characters. And he was like, I understand that.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's cool that he's so forward about these things. And
it's refreshing.
It is refreshing. And it's nice that some of these comic book movies kind of shine a light on really good directors. Like, I knew Todd Phillips' name. I didn't know what he was like. And now, after Joker, I've kind of seen him in interviews and heard him talking. And I actually know that he seems like a really cool guy. And
isn't it bad that usually when you hear a director like Todd Phillips, you go straight to like The Hangover 2 and 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you just think of the failures.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, they were terrible. He's not that good. You don't think of The Hangover 1.
Amazing.
A massive hit.
Yeah.
In fact, if they didn't make The Hangover 2 and 3, I think it would be lauded as an absolute classic comedy.
Yeah, great. It is one of the greatest comedies of all time.
Yeah, it watered it down, so then it takes away from it.
Totally. But
which hopefully Joker 2 doesn't do.
Yeah, if it ever happens.
But we don't think of like The Hangover and what was
Due Date.
Due Date is great. And what was the
War
the
Dogs?
One? War Dogs. That's the one.
Bradley,
no one's seen War Dogs.
I know, and it's a great movie.
It's a really good movie.
Bradley Cooper is terrifying in that movie. Really, really scary.
And he's a producer on it because they're
obviously good friends.
The production house that he's talking about.
But it's so, like, I always love when a big movie comes out, and yes, it's a big budget or whatever, and it's a superhero movie or stuff like that, it's going to do well. But if it shines a light on a really cool creator that I end up really liking.
I know.
Like when John Krasinski, like I already liked him from The Office, but when he did Get Out, or not Get Out, what's the movie? It's not Get Out.
It's not Get Out.
It's Jordan Peele is Get Out. Place. Quiet Place. That's it. Why did I think it was Get Out?
I was just thinking Silence in my head.
Yeah.
It was something to do with Quiet.
Something to do with Quiet.
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place, yeah. Like, now, like, I follow him career and I like him as a person and everything.
To the Russo brothers.
Russo brothers, exactly.
The Russo, like, to think that they were doing episodes of Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And then they got their hands on Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Turns out to be one of my all-time favorite comic book movies ever.
Me too.
Still is.
It's really fun, like, these big budget movies can, like, shine a light on cool directors and cool people who, like, I actually get interested in what they do and their process and everything. Like, hearing about how the Russo brothers, when they break down all the characters and what they wanted from them, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I like hearing about their process.
Their pitch was supposed to be amazing for Winter Soldier. But here Todd Phillips actually spoke about how The Hangover was such a big hit, and he was like, when The Hangover was such a big hit, I didn't storm DC saying, right, I'm your comedy guy, like, which I thought was a great point, because of course then he didn't do it for Joker either. I made $1 billion. I want Lex Luthor, you know.
He seems like a guy who's like, oh, my film did really well. That's really cool. I'm really glad because I put a lot of work into that. You know, he seems like really chill about it. I doubt he goes around like bragging about his films.
Hopefully not. Anyway,
like in that, I don't know how. You infer so much when you see stuff, but like seeing him in the breakdown scene where he's talking about it,
variety,
he's super like laid back and chill and just breaking it down. He's like, yeah, did this.
And he seems quite modest.
Yeah,
like totally. He's quite humble in it. He's not like he's going well.
And he credits other people as
well. That's always great.
Yeah, when you see he's like, yeah, no, we had a stunt man, but he just couldn't get Joaquin's run. So Joaquin came in and he said this and this. The
bromance between him and Joaquin Phoenix is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. But here's the thing: we will get, I'd say, a Joker sequel.
Yeah, probably.
He says in the interview that he's been doing a tour, of course, like a junket, like promoting the movie. And him and Joaquin Phoenix have been talking about it, and he said there has been executives that have been on the tour with them, and they'd be having dinner, and the executives are like, so, like,
when's the sequel?
What's the ideas you have? Yeah. So of course
they want one.
Of course, Warner Brothers want one.
Give it to me.
Give me the money.
Give me the money.
Give me that money.
Give me the money. We have a success.
I can smell the money.
Let's steer right into it.
Todd Phillips comes in the room. Oh, I can smell that.
Yeah, it's like Thelma and Louise.
Smell the dough.
Come on, let's go over the cliff together.
I can smell the dough in the oven.
I'd like to read the text chain.
Stop fucking sniffing me.
I'd like to read the text chain between Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips about Joker 2.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of cool ideas being thrown around.
Todd Phillips said second week of production on Joker is when him and Joaquin Phoenix start talking about sequels.
Oh, wow.
So that's cool.
That's very cool.
Second week in.
That's cool.
And did you read what Joaquin Phoenix did?
No.
About sequels?
No, what did you do?
He got like the cinematographer. I could be wrong. It was one crew member.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a photographer, but he got him to make up mock posters for Joker 2.
Very cool. Very cool. I like that.
So he's all in.
It's cool that it's nice that a movie that people are so passionate about is doing well. I suppose it'd be nice if it was an independent property. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Isn't it weird that Joker feels like that?
It does. It feels quite independent.
It's a big studio movie.
Yeah.
It actually is a big studio. It's Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like that.
It's
which
weird.
is nice.
Yeah. It is nice.
And I feel like Warner Brothers know this as well. They're like, let's keep it feeling like that.
Totally.
Because it's just, there's better, more positive vibes.
Yeah.
Where Aquaman, you can feel
the money.
And you can feel the executives' hands going, well, we can sell it better if Jason Momoa just pumps a bit more iron. You know that way? Like,
did you see, I can't forget, Patrick Wilson is like, I'm not done with Ocean Master. Yeah. His suit at the end was so cool.
That's so cool.
I loved how it looked. The helmet, the purple.
I loved it.
It was so good. Like, Aquaman's suit is cool. I will admit, I like the gold, but I do prefer
harkening back to like the actual old comic book.
I do prefer the comic book Aquaman, like the blonde-haired one, but that's just because I prefer the comics and I like reading them. But I thought Patrick Wilson was such a good fit for Ocean Master, and his suit was just so cool.
So cool.
It's you know what? It's because James Wan has like, he wasn't afraid to be out there with it, and that was the best part about Aquaman.
Yeah.
Is there any more news we can quickly rattle off just so we get through some stuff?
Yeah, sure. Noah Hawley, the guy who created the Fargo TV series
and Legion,
and also wrote and directed many episodes. He has been tapped to direct Star Trek 4.
Excellent.
With Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto coming back, and not Chris Hemsworth. Because remember the whole thing of Chris Hemsworth's going to come back and they're going to do some time travel?
Yeah.
Because he was Chris Pine's father.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth loves that role.
It's a great role.
It is.
It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That opening is
amazing.
So good.
Yeah.
The music.
I've
composed by Michael Giacchino.
Oh.
Who's doing the Batman.
Excellent.
Oh, speaking of the Batman.
Oh, yeah. John Turturro has been cast as Carmine Falcone.
People who might not know his name, because it's not the biggest name, but you know this guy.
You'd know him. See, he's in Transformers. He's the agent. Don't remember his name.
Crazy guy.
He's Jesus in The Big Lebowski. He's in Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Yes, I forgot about that.
He's one of the brothers, with Tim Blake Nelson and George Clooney.
So he's worked with Coen Brothers more than once?
Yes, he's worked with them a few times. I think he's in Raising Arizona as well.
Is he?
He might be. I've never seen the movie.
Oh, it's really good. Nicolas Cage at his best.
Yeah.
In fact, have you seen the news about Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage in a movie?
In a movie about
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And apparently, Nicolas Cage is also...
Look at the excitement
apparently, Nicolas Cage is also going to play a younger Nicolas Cage in it, who's an imaginary thing. Like, Nicolas Cage is playing himself in the movie, okay?
It's Inception.
Himself. He is having an emotional breakdown because his career isn't going very well and he's in a lot of debt. Nicolas Cage would then also play a younger version of himself talking to the older version.
So an imaginary version of himself.
Imaginary version of himself and when he was successful. So, like, he's like Castor Troy, Nicolas Cage, or something from Face Off.
This is the perfect role for Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. I feel like he wrote the script.
It sounds so good. Yeah. I want it to happen.
Me too.
Hopefully it's good.
Hopefully.
It sounds so perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, that's some cool...
I was shocked that Charlie Kaufman didn't write this.
Yeah.
Charlie Kaufman did adaptation.
Yeah.
Which stars Nicolas Cage.
Two Nicolas Cages
again, playing Charlie Kaufman.
Yeah.
Trying to write a movie.
The Inception around Nicolas Cage.
I thought Charlie Kaufman wrote this movie. I actually thought.
One of the best episodes of Community is when Abed have you seen Community? He takes film class and he tries to tackle whether Nicolas Cage is a good actor or not. Yeah.
He's a genius, but also he's a madman.
He's a genius, but then there's a vampire's kiss and then there's like, it's so good.
The Wicker Man.
Yeah, The Wicker Man. And then he just starts doing Nicolas Cage impressions and like having a emotional breakdown in front of the class. But yeah, so Noah Hawley, Star Trek 4, very excited. We were saying we hope Simon Pegg comes back to write.
Yes, because he did the last one, Star Trek Beyond, which was a really good movie.
Really good movie. Much more blockbustery than the first two.
Yes, but worked.
But worked really well.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
And sadly, it made less money. But yeah, it seemed like it was bigger. It was like it was open for a bigger audience.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing with Star Trek.
Yeah.
I think the old TV shows are so specific.
Totally.
And I guess they're so nerdy. They're super nerdy.
No. And they don't solve problems in the old TV show with fisticuffs. It's always negotiation or outsmarting someone. Yeah. Where
Chris Pine drives a dirt bike.
Yeah.
In Star Trek Beyond. And he looks well.
He looks good.
He looks well driving a dirt bike.
As Captain Kirk, you're like Captain Kirk in the old series, he used to just bang everyone. Chris Pine's Captain Kirk, I'm like, you get after that, Chris Pine.
Yeah.
You get after it. I'm behind you.
And it's very believable.
Yeah. Totally.
Then again, William Shatner as well. Like he was a good-looking, charming man back in the day.
Yeah, with his 60s. With his weird way of speaking.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll take you away for dinner while you come aboard my ship.
So this is good news.
It's all good news.
And it's not to get mixed up with Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek, which I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
But this is not his.
No.
Noah Hawley's going to write and direct.
And it's going to be crazy, more than likely, if it's anything like Legion and
Fargo. Fargo's nuts as well.
Yeah. I think he's a good director for getting back to kind of what made people like about the original Star Trek.
Yeah.
While also having seen all of Legion, he's got a good eye for spectacle and like big space battles. So
totally.
So I'm be very interested to see what he does with this.
And what he did with Fargo, he came into like an already established IP.
Yeah.
And made it his own.
Yeah.
And made it work.
Yeah. So he's an excellent choice, and yeah, I really hope Simon Pegg is involved because again, just love Simon Pegg, everything he does. And yeah, John Turturro in this cast in the Batman movie just gets better and better every time. So
it's so good.
Him as Carmine Falcone is an excellent choice because he's a great actor. Also, it's again getting closer and closer to the Long Halloween.
Yes, you were saying this.
Yeah, because Carmine Falcone is a huge part of it, and that's what they're saying they're going for. And I'd be surprised. Have you read the Long Halloween?
I have not.
Okay,
it's on my list.
Okay, well there's a killer in it called the Day Killer, and he kills people in the Falcone, basically creating a turf war on holidays. Okay. And they think it's Calendar Man, but it's not Calendar Man. Calendar Man knows who it is, kind of. Okay. But anyway, so I'm thinking they're probably not going to do Calendar Man. They might sub in the Riddler as that person. Cool. And then they could do something like that, maybe. But if Two-Face finally gets cast, I'll know it's the Long Halloween. Right. Because he's the big character in that. Well, I recently read Danny DeVito endorsing Colin Farrell as Penguin. Very cool. That. Well, Danny DeVito worked with Colin Farrell. Yeah, on Dumbo. Yeah. Only recently. Yeah, and they liked each other. And he said that they were friends for years, actually. Yeah. And that he thinks Colin Farrell will do a really good job as Penguin. So too. I think Colin Farrell will bring enough menace, you know? Yeah. So let's look at it, right? So we got Robert Pattinson as Batman. Every time we do the show, this cast gets better and better. I know. And you know what? We've nearly had a new casting every episode for quite a while now. It's good. This would be nice. If this is a good movie, I'd be so happy now. Me too. Because we've really endorsed it. Yeah. We've been pushing it. We've talked it up. Yeah. And there's an emotional journey here. I started off not being that into it, and now you know we're getting there. Yeah. The first time we see his suit, I'm very excited to see that. Yeah, big time. Apparently they're going for the grey and blue look. Really? Classic grey and blue, or at least more elements of it. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. And we were just talking about that scene at the start of Star Trek. Yeah. Same composer. Yeah, exactly. So that's good. Michael Giacchino. Man, what a scene. Sorry, just to get back to that. I've never felt more connected to like a character who died in the first 5 minutes than his dad. Yeah. It was really, really he's a good man. He's a good man. He is literally he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. And then like, but he could take some licks and he'd give some too. Yeah, you know? Exactly. I was like, he's a strong character. You're like, he is the exemplary standard of a Starfleet captain. And you're like, wow, what a cool guy. And then when you see Kirk, you can see him really struggling with that. And I'm like, J.J. Abrams. We were talking about this, right? Just the right heartstrings. Just the right ones. Where it's not cheesy. Not cheesy, but just good. Like, this makes me feel good and sad at the same time. I love it. J.J. Abrams, I was saying, there was some Screen Rant article about him possibly doing a Superman movie. I think he'd be perfect for Superman. I think he'd do such a good job of harkening back to the old, all that was really off. Dun, 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 that one. The Christopher Reeve, that's what I was trying to say. Christopher Reeve Superman, I think he'd do a good enough job of emulating that while also making a really good Lex Luthor, because it's very important.
Oh, what a good Lex.
Me too. Can we just have Michael Rosenbaum be Lex?
Yes.
In everything.
Remember Bryan Cranston? That was rumored.
Perfect. He's a perfect choice. Lex Luthor is...
I would not fuck with that. He would make it a great Lionel at this point as well, because he's a lot older.
Lex Luthor is great because his whole thing is that he needs to be the best. And I just love the struggle of him, like... People have pointed out that Lex Luthor has power armor, right? But everyone points out that his face is completely exposed. And someone makes such an excellent point where it was like, you wouldn't cover your face because you want people to know that it's you in that suit.
Yes, that's Lex, true and true.
And I'm like, that's Lex through and through. It's like, if you're saved by someone, or you save someone, or you do something, you want people to see that it's you in that suit because he's just such an egomaniac.
Get Michael Rosenbaum back from Smallville and get Bryan Cranston as Lionel, the father.
Yeah. Boom, perfect movie.
Be great.
And Henry Cavill can still be Superman. Just forget Jesse Eisenberg.
Well, that's a good bit of news that I didn't even write down.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill has said officially now that he's not done.
No.
He's got that suit in the closet.
Yeah, I would too. Mm-hmm. Jesus. I look like him.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, but he's not done playing that character.
Excellent. I'm really excited for The Witcher.
Yeah,
really excited.
Me too.
He looks good, and I'm replaying the game at the moment, so... One more important bit of news, because we talked about it before. Mindhunter 3 has been postponed indefinitely.
Talks have been postponed or delayed is how they put it.
Yeah.
I hate that. It says talks. It doesn't say season 3. It says talks of season 3.
Yeah. So
delayed. Now there's one good thing.
What?
Is because it's delayed because David Fincher's busy making another movie.
Okay.
And it's a Netflix movie.
Okay. So that's all right. But I'm glad it's not cancelled. I'm really annoyed that
it kind of sounds like a fancy way of saying it could be cancelled.
Yeah. So,
I'm 50-50 with that.
Yeah. It's making me nervous anyway.
It's a great show.
Yeah, truly great show.
Really great show.
And with some like actors in it who you wouldn't know that put in some serious performances.
I was told that guy from Glee.
Yeah. Jonathan Groff.
Jonathan Groff. Mm-hmm. He is fantastic.
He is fantastic.
I'm glad I didn't know he was in Glee.
Yeah. Yeah. When I started watching it, my girlfriend was like, "Oh, he's from Glee." I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I was watching it, he's like, "He's really good."
Yeah.
And then the other guy acting opposite him, I don't know his name, but he's my favorite character in the whole thing.
He's great.
He's amazing. And good friends with Zack Snyder.
Is he?
Well,
he was in Justice League.
He was in Justice League and he was cut out.
Yeah. Well, he's in it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he's in it. Sorry.
But his scene was cut down.
His scene was cut down.
He said there was a lot more to that scene.
Yeah.
And he's obviously friends with David Fincher because he was also in Fight Club.
Fight Club, yeah.
A long time ago.
Holt
is his name in it, yeah.
Holt McCallany. That's the actor's name.
Okay, sorry.
Holt McCallany.
Holden is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, the guy Holden Ford, and he's Bill Tench. Yeah.
He's a Bill. He really is a Bill.
Yeah.
He embodies that name.
And then this female Anna Torv as she's beautiful.
She's so hot.
And then all the people playing serial killers are great.
So good.
So good. They're acting circles around people in some of their scenes.
So good. The Charles Manson guy recently played Charles Manson in Mindhunter and also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. And the guy who plays Edmund Kemper, Cameron Britton.
He is great.
He's so good. And he's in
Umbrella
Academy. Yeah. And I loved him in that as well. And then I saw him in this and I was like, wow, this guy has range.
He's so good that I didn't recognize him.
Didn't recognize him either.
Even with that very significant voice. It's so specific.
Yeah.
That guy's made for voice work.
Yeah. He's so good.
I love his voice.
Speaking of great voices, just get back to the Batman cast. Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright was just in Rick and Morty.
Wow.
He's in the new season.
That's great.
And by chance, Sam Neill and Taika Waititi were also in that episode. So,
that's really
Hunt
cool.
For the Wilder People.
Because they're friends.
They're good friends, yeah.
And also he got him to be in Thor
Ragnarok
as well for that little cameo.
Yeah, so they're all in the most recent episode.
Really cool.
So, so Hunk and Skunk.
Ooh, Hunk and Skunk. Let's see.
I hate to do this. Skunk, Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks.
Sorry, Elizabeth.
Sorry. I can't believe you're calling her a skunk.
I know. I feel bad about it, you know.
But there's some broad statements.
Yeah, you know.
We could be saying a lot worse.
As people known for their sweeping statements, she made some sweeping statements.
Yeah, we know them.
Yeah.
We recognize them.
Hunk. Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 3 especially.
Yeah, episode 3 Mandalorian. Oh, it's great. It reminds me of...
And the Q hunk.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. Oof. Baby hunk. He's the real hunk.
He's the baby hunk.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for listening to this extra long episode of Straight to Series.
Got through a lot there.
We did get through a lot, and we didn't even get through everything, as usual. So
most of the stuff we talked about are not on these lists.
Not on the list, as always. As always, we get sidetracked.
What was that Clint Eastwood movie again?
Oh, who cares?
American Sniper.
Yeah, thank you all for listening. Like, subscribe, check us out on Instagram.
Yes,
that's the big one. But we're also on Twitter and Facebook.
We're on everything.
We're on everything. Share. Please tell a friend. It makes such a big difference if you tell a friend. And we will talk to you. Clint Eastwood's age is up here on the screen. He's 89 years of age.
My God.
He does not look it.
I bet he can still get rock solid.
I bet so.
I'd like to think so.
I mean, I've seen the Mule, so I know it's true.
Have you actually watched the movie?
No. I've watched the scene, though.
If he gets a rim job, I fucking applaud that actress.
Wow, Jesus.
Wow, she really cleaned that gutter.
And on that note, coming full circle with the rim job, we will talk to you guys next week.
See ya.
See ya.